Welcome back, kids. If you're new here, I'm Marty Mitchell, caveman in chief at Mitchell's Woodwork. I recently had a problem with my CNC that just kind of seemed like it happened overnight, but I know it happened over time and I just didn't notice it. I'm going to show you what to look out for, how to prevent this problem from happening to you in the future. Let me show you what happened. Alright, this was my problem, and this is something we all need to be keeping an eye out for. Just watch this wire right here as I lower my Z. See it slide over that corner there? That, over time, ate away at the outer insulation on that wire. Let me show you. So as you can see right here, it had worn off the entire outer layer of this power wire that goes to my ATC spindle. Fortunately, I noticed this before it got down into the actual wires on the inside of there, because that could have led to some serious problems. And I'm thankful that I did notice this before it got any more serious. So the question is, how am I going to keep this from happening in the future, and how can you prevent it from happening? That's what I'm fixing to show you. So what you see here is the solution that I chose for my problem. There are other ways to go about fixing the wire rubbing on the motor, but since I am a partner with PwnCNC and they have this cool drag chain kit available, naturally I went with this. But I think it's going to be the perfect solution. There's any number of ways you could fix that. You could pull more wire through your drag chain and have more slack and maybe somehow zip tie that out of the way, which is what I had originally did with mine. But over time, I've had that set up for at least 18 months. And I just recently noticed that that wire was rubbing. So I don't know if something shifted or what happened, but this is my solution. And what this is a Z drag chain. And this will mount to my spindle and my ultimate hose clamp base behind the spindle. And there's several different configurations here that they send you. I have the ATC spindle, so I'm not going to use all of this. If I had just a water-cooled spindle, I would use a different set of things that are included here. So no matter which kind of water-cooled spindle you have, if it's a PwnCNC, when you buy this kit, everything you need is included in there. So let's get over to the machine and get to installing these things and see if I can't fix this problem. All right, I've got the machine pulled out from the back wall there so I can get all the way around it, because the first thing I'm going to have to do is unlatch these drag chains at least a little bit so I can pull some slack through here and through my X drag chain so I can have a lot more room to work with right here, because they don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. So that's what I'm fixing to do. All right, I'm going to take this drag chain loose from this bracket here. Kind of figure out what I'm going to have to do. Get from this side. Yeah. Alright, I got that loose. I'm not pulling those. The only thing I'm pulling is the two water lines and these 4 wires right here. There we go. Alright, the water lines are not going to be a problem. But one of these right here is getting real difficult, and I think that's all the slack that I'm going to have on that. So I'm going to start popping these loose back here and pull everything out that end and see how much slack I actually have. I think what I need to do first is go ahead and pop this end off the bracket too. So maybe I'll have a little bit better angle to pull these. Alright, water lines are good. That should be more than enough for those. These two, I'm not sure how I have those set up. Oh, I've got them zip tied in there. So I'm going to have to pop these open and cut some zip ties. So let me do that. So first thing we're going to do is attach this piece, which is right here, and it goes on top of the ultimate hose clamp mount there. Alright, this piece here goes right here. I already got a couple screws in there. Alright, move around here to the front side. And this is our piece that we're fixing to put on here. And this one is, according to the instructions, is a little tricky. So we're going to work it in there and see how it goes. That goes through here. Yeah, this back wire here will go in that slot. And then just wiggle it in place like that right there. That wasn't too bad. Okay. Now hook these back. Yeah, because what you put this on there, you can't just easily pull those out for some reason. So that's kind of scary, but it'd be all right. And this one, which is the tool change port. Goes right in there. Get all these hooked back up. Okay, now I gotta wiggle this piece in there. See how that's gonna work out. Oh yeah, right on in there. Okay. All right, now one thing I am going to have to do, it looks like I'm going to have to spin my spindle clockwise just a little bit, because this part up here where the drag chain mounts is not parallel with the one in the back here. You can see it's kind of a little cockeyed there. So let me loosen up my spindle and I'll get that moved. You'll notice when I loosen this top screw here, my spindle kind of dropped down just a little bit there. When something like that happens, remember, if you have an ATC, you will have to reset your Z pickup height for your tool racks. Okay, that is pretty darn close right there. All right, so I've got my end piece of the drag chain already attached here. My struggle is going to be getting all of this into the drag chain. And I put it on, I had it on here earlier, just kind of a trial run. And it was tight, but I was able to get it in there. And then I took it off, number one, so I could refilm it, or so I could film it. And also I'm trying to figure out a way to keep it from being so tight in there. But this is what's causing the problem, is my flow indicator here, which I really don't want to give up. So I've already had to shorten this part of the hose substantially, because it had to be very short in order for this to even have a chance to work. So that's where I'm at there. So all I'm going to do is just start attaching the drag chain from this end and work my way back and just see how it goes. But it's not going to be easy, but it's because of my flow indicator though. If it wasn't for that, this would be a breeze. So let's try it and see how it goes. All right, I've got my hoses and wires kind of squeezed in here. And this time, I'm just going to try to get this one piece, the end piece, clicked in here, and then kind of work and position the hoses and things as needed. So let me just snap this in here. Right there. All right, so actually that looks pretty good. The this water line right here is compressed a little bit in there. Let me bring you around and show you. But I think it's going to be okay, and my flow indicator is just perfect right there. And it's clicked in on both sides. So I'm going to go with that, and let's just start putting the other pieces on and see what happens. All right, so let me get these up here. And I know this would be easier if I could keep these kind of spread out, not all on top of each other. So let me just clip this one in place. All right, I'd say that's a good start. And when I did this earlier, I tried to do just the whole thing at once, and that was a nightmare. I did get it done, but it was a whole lot harder. I'm thinking this way is going to be a lot easier. All right, I'm just going to try it 3 links at a time and see how this goes. Oh wow, well, so far so good. I gotta keep these evenly spaced out as best as I can. Cool. Let me get 3 more links. Well, actually 1 more link, because I fixed to run into those coupler thingies there. And they do not fit in there. There it went. Okay, and these will be, they will just hang on the inside of there. Looks like I could go 1 more link, so let me do that. Now, that's not going to close, but I think I'm just going to live with that right there. I'll just take this one off later. There we went. Yeah, I got plenty of room down here in this part. Once I get past these two, then you really got a lot of space, a lot of wiggle room in there, so that helps. This may be the last section right here. Looks good on that side, looks good on this side, so I'm going to close them up. Alright, now I'm installing this end piece that the drag chain will click onto. So let me get these last two screws in here. Alright, now I have to run these in here now at this point before I click this one in place. So see how. Oh, that's tight. Okay. Now, will it reach? Yep. Just barely. And my Z is all the way up, so that's as high as it'll ever go. I believe that's it. That should be a done deal. Let me bring you around, I'll kind of show you a 360 view. I just now realized I can put these two in these bottom three, or at least the bottom two cross pieces here, so I'm going to do that. Alright, click that in there. Click that one in there. Hey, that's going to work. Looky there. I'm just going to take that one that's hanging down there. I'm going to go on the other side and take that loose. And then we're going to test this thing and see how it works. Alright, so I have homed the machine and I run it back down here so y'all can get a good view of it. Fixing to test the Z. I've got it slowed down on continuous mode just in case there's a problem I can stop it. That's as low as I should go. I'll never need to go as low as it is right now. But that's still good and loose. None of that's in a bind or anything, so that's great. Let's go back up. Sweet. I'm gonna go as far down as it'll go. Right there. That is the bottom of my Z travel. Let's fill with that. I'll show you how far down it is. My collet is below the surface of the spoil board. All right, I'm gonna speed it up and run it a few times. Ooh. Oh, what that was the collet clearing the spoil board because it was rubbing up against the spoil board down there. Now it should be good. Plenty of slack. Plenty of slack. All right, quick note here. After I finished the install and all that, I went back because I got to thinking about how low my spindle was dropping down there, and that was unnecessary, and I'm wasting Z height. So I moved my Z carriage up to, because this is where it used to be in this hole. Now it's in that one, so it's as high up now as it can go. And I'm going to try that for a while, just see how it works out. But I will have to reset my Z pickup height on my tool holders. All right, now I'm going to turn my spindle on and watch the flow indicator there. Let's just see what that looks like. Put 10,000 in there, 10,000. Spindle CW. Yep.
We did it! We did it! We did it!
It's easier to see now than it ever was because it used to be over here on this side. Now it's right here front and center. How cool is that? Let it run a minute. Go ahead and jog it up and down again. I am very happy with the way this turned out. Turn the spindle off. I'd say that's a done deal. Mission accomplished. Thanks, Daniel. That was such a good project to do. I'm so proud of how it turned out, and I'm glad I got it done. No longer have to worry about wires rubbing on anything. If you have a water-cooled spindle, especially a ATC spindle, I can't recommend this highly enough. This is the way to go, and that's all I can say about it. It is perfection. So I'm real happy with this. Before I let you go, I also want to tell you about this right here. This is my rough cut Cedar sign pack. It's a 5-pack. You get these. I'm already shipping these out, by the way. You get 5 of them for 25 bucks, or if you just want a few, they're $6 each. And I also have these that are planed and will be edged when you get them. So these will be ready to go. These are $30 for a 5-pack or $7 each if you just want a few. I take PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Patreon, and other things I'm probably not thinking of right now. But anyway, that's a good deal. And if y'all have never been exposed to Eastern Red Cedar, let me tell you, this stuff it's very aromatic. And it smells wonderful for real. I mean, they make potpourri out of this stuff. Every time somebody comes in my shop, they've never been in here, they go, first thing they say every time, oh, I love that cedar smell in here. Yeah, because it really is. It smells good and it's beautiful, easy to work with. I highly recommend y'all try this. I believe if you do, you're gonna be hooked. Also, I want to mention that I'm sure y'all noticed my red bench dogs. I replaced the black ones that I had after I had replaced the original red ones that I had. I thought I didn't really care for the red ones, and then I put the black ones on there, left them on there for a couple of weeks, and I'm like, I'm kind of missing that red, a little bit of extra color. So now I'm back to red, but hell, who knows, next time I may have the black ones back on there, or some other color. But for now, I'm making them in red and black. If you have a special request, I will try to honor that. They're $3 each. I've already told you the payment methods I accept. And the way to order anything that I have is email me at mitchellswoodwork@gmail.com. And I will be glad to hook you up with whatever you need. And one more thing about the cedar, since it is so aromatic, I'm going to throw the smell in for free. How are you possibly going to beat that deal? I'll see y'all in the next video.